You may be totally new to Zbrush, so let's start at the very beginning. When you first open the program, you'll see across the top this light box, and inside of it, there are different templates that we can open for our project. If the light box doesn't open by default for you, you can press the comma key to bring it open. Or if it's open and you want to close it, yeah, just push the comma key. So I always recommend for beginners to start with the Dynamesh sphere templates. So I'll just double click on one. And now if we hold the left mouse button and drag on the model, we're starting to sculpt on the form. Notice that as I do that on the right-hand side, the same thing happens on the left. That's because symmetry is turned on right now. We want to turn symmetry off for this model, so we can do that by pushing X on the keyboard. Now let's go over to this panel and we'll turn off dynamic perspective. And that gives us an orthographic view of the model. And if when you first open your model, you see that XYZ rotation is allowed, I recommend changing to rotate about the Y-axis instead. That will keep your model upright. And here are all the controls for getting around in ZBrush, just for navigating the camera. So take a minute, pause the video if you need to just write those down, test them out. And there's kind of a weird procedure for importing files into ZBrush. We actually have to replace these tools and do it do each part separately so that we don't overlap our geometry. So let's I'll just run through it. Let's go to import, and then we'll go to, we want to import from the dog demo file. We want the body first. We'll open that up. Now if I import the brain just by clicking the button right now, while this tool is active, it will actually replace the dog. So what we want to do is click on the cylinder, and this is just another kind of like tool that is within our project, and we're going to replace the cylinder with the brain. So we'll go to import demo dog brain. Let's go again to the cylinder, import eyeballs. We'll go again to the cylinder and import the pupils. Okay, so now we have all of our different tools brought into the project, and let's go back to the body, and then down in the subtool panel, we'll click on the append button and select the brain. So you can see that that appeared now on the model. And now if we go again to append, we can select the eyeballs. Let's go again to append and select the pupils. So we've got our dog here, and the brain and the eyeballs are in place, but you can see it's laying on its side. So we can fix that by rotating it up. And so push W on the keyboard, and you see now this very complicated widget with a bunch of different parts on it. Probably this is how it's going to look when you first see it. So now there's something about orbiting around that I didn't tell you yet. When we have dynamic perspective turned off and we hold the shift key while dragging the right mouse button, that will let us snap to different points of view. So the front view, the right view, the top view. And this is really helpful for being able to rotate the object around. So I'm going to go to this view. I'm locked into that view, and I'm going to grab onto this gray handle. And by holding shift at the same time that we're moving along that, it will snap it to 5-degree increments. So you see we rotated the body up, but the brain didn't come along for the ride. So let's undo that by pressing Control Z. And so you see that button on the top right of the widget there? If we turn this on, that will make it so that the other stuff will come up with the dog. So I'll hold shift again, and we've rotated it up 90 degrees. Now we can turn that widget off with Q on the keyboard. Now let's save our file. So you'll see this button up here on the top right under Tool, the Save As button. We don't want to use that button because it will save this whole thing as a tool instead of a project, and the tool won't have all of the particular configuration things that we have assigned here. So let's press Control S instead, And let's save this on the desktop, and I'll call this demo dog 1.